Hi, welcome to my channel, Better Monday Fasting. On this channel, I'll be sharing my fasting experience. I've been fasting since 2016, and so I accumulated a good amount of experience with fasting. And in this video, I would like to discuss one of the techniques I come up with to start with our fasting journey. But before getting started, I just want to make it clear that nothing in this video or on this channel is medical advice. So please do your own research before making any decisions concerning your health. Yeah, that said, I'll start with the first technique. I don't know, we'll see how long it takes me to explain the first technique. So maybe I'll make different videos for the different techniques, or maybe put all of them in this video. But so before starting the fasting experience, if you never did a fast before, what I suggest is take a week, observe a typical week you have, and write down when you start eating, write down the time, like your first bite of the day, write it down, and then write down the last when you finish eating. So, sorry about that. Yeah, so write down when you finish your last meal, and maybe do that for a week. I mean, if you already know, maybe you already know when you start eating and stop eating, then maybe you don't need to do that as that exercise. But if you don't know, or if you don't have a set routine, yeah, I suggest that you write down your hours, so we can have the two windows, which are your eating window and your fasting window. That's the thing. I mean, people are like, oh, fasting, it's so difficult, like I've never done it, but if you're sleeping 8 hours a day minimum, and you don't wake up to eat something, so you already have 8 hours of fasting capital. So you already have a base, like you're already fasting. So what we need to do is build upon that capital and extend that 8 hours to maybe 10, 12, 14. So one of the reasons why I suggest that you observe 1 week when you're fasting, it's also because there are many people that are already doing an intermittent fasting without knowing it. So they're actually already fasting, but they don't know that they're fasting. So for that reason, it's good to, because there are people that are already pretty in tune with their body, and they listen to their body without knowing it. And you'll have people, I skip breakfast, I don't feel hungry, and actually they're doing good. Like they're listening to the body, because the body probably is still doing its cleansing functions in the morning, and so that's why they don't feel hungry. And that's good. Like if we can extend on top of the 8 hours to extend our fasting window. So once we have, so you observe for a week, more or less how many hours you can fast without any effort. So we have a starting point. So once you have that, then we can build on top of it. And then the first technique consists of building weekly fasting patterns. So say you observe like your eating routine, and you observe that you are already fasting without making any effort. You're already fasting for 10 hours. Okay, so we know that you have a baseline of 10, 14. So our next step is going to be we're going to take a week, and we'll put, say, we could put, for example, 4 days we stay with your baseline. So for 4 days inside the week, you'll be fasting for 10 hours. So you'll be doing what you're already doing, but you'll be doing it consciously. And for 2 days, we're going to fast for 12. So they could be consecutive days, but they could also be, you could fast, 10 hours on Monday, Tuesday you do 12, then you come back, to 10, do another 10, then you do 12, you do another 10. So we're going to do, 4 plus 2, so it's going to be 6 days. So 2 days where we're fasting 12, 4 where we are in our comfort zone, 10, and 1 day, it could be this Sunday, where we're not going to stress out about fasting. You do whatever you want. Like if you want to wake up and eat right away, you can do it. Or if you feel like fasting, you fast, but you don't really stress out about thinking the hours and all that. When it will be a day, you do. You go about your day as you wish, because later I'll speak about that more in depth. But with fasting, it is very important to. So when we stop consuming food, that puts a stress on the body, and it's very important to rest from that stress. I stopped because there's that truck that's making a lot of noise. So it's very important to rest, so go away from fasting. So with fasting, we'll be doing some fasting sessions, but then also consciously recuperate from fasting, so the body can grow. It's a little bit like the gym analogy, where you don't build muscle at the gym, but it's more like at the gym you're going to put stress on your muscles, and then you're going to eat. So you're going to nourish your muscles, and then probably while you're sleeping, you'll be building muscle. And with fasting, it's pretty much the same. We put the stress, but then it's very important to recuperate. So, and that also gives us something to look forward. So at the beginning, you'll be looking forward to going back to your. I just need to be careful here. Crossing.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So sorry about that. So you'll be looking forward to go back to your comfort zone, but as the time passes by, you'll also be looking forward to going into fasting, and at one point it flips, like your comfort zone becomes what was uncomfortable before. That's like one of the magical aspects of fasting, So like for me right now, like it's, I mean, if I wake up and you ask me to breakfast, to eat breakfast, it's like torture. Like it's the last thing I'm thinking. I wake up and I do a little short morning routine, and then I start being productive. And all day I don't eat until my OMAD at night. So that's interesting. So once we have that fasting pattern, so like we said, 4 days we keep our comfort zone, 2 days we challenge a little bit more with a couple more hours, and 1 day freestyle. And we can do that for 1, 2, 3 weeks, and observe. Like I'll make a video about that. It's also one of the chapters of my book. It's very important to keep a journal. Journaling is very, very important with fasting. So we can write down in our journal, like what was the attempted pattern and how it went, and at the end of the week, for example, if that's our, the day we're the free day, we can plan the upcoming week. And so fasting is all about strategy. So we need to do something, see how the body reacts and how we feel, and then we make a decision, and we come up with another plan, and then we execute. And so the idea is to, as we move on, so it could be a week later, 2 weeks later, once we have our pattern, we're gonna add 1 more day of 12-day fasting. So we had 4 10-hour, 2 12. So we're gonna replace one of the 10 with a 12. So we're gonna end up with 3 10, 3 12s, and 1 free day. Again, you can space them how you wish. Oh, we have a little dog here. Hi. Hello. Really cute dog. So, and then you go like that, like 3 3. Then you can space them however you like. So you can do 1 day 10, 1 day 12, 1 day 10, 1 day 12. You can do it that way, or you can do 1 day 10, then you do the 3 12s, 1 day 10, 2 days 10, and then you can do the off day. So it gives you options. And that also, for example, when you're advancing through the weeks, moving forward through the weeks, that's also something you can do. For example, like you don't increase the number of days of, like you don't put another 12, but you change the order of the days, because 3 days, like 3 challenging days in a row, it's going to be a different challenge then. Every day, like you go back to the next day, you go back to your comfort zone. And this is our strategy, like little by little, our goal is to increase that window when we're not fasting. So at one point you're going to end up with 6 days of 12 hours fasting, and 1 day, 1 free day. And then you got to see, maybe it has already been like I don't know, a couple months that you're fasting. Then you make a decision, like you're like, I feel good, maybe I can go start inserting the 14 hours, or it can be like you know what, like that's been quite stressful for me. Like for a couple weeks, I'm just gonna just go back full to my to my comfort zone. So I don't want to think about fasting. So that's also very important, like because fasting should never be boring. Either you're gonna be like pumped up, like hey, I'm gonna break the record, I want to progress, like in that progressive mentality, or well, if put it that way, if fasting is boring, it's either gets boring, it's either you're not challenging the body enough, so you have to make it a little bit more difficult, or you need to rest from fasting. It's just that it's been a while, like you've tried different patterns, it's been already maybe a month or two, you're thinking about fasting and all that, and actually the body needs to rest, not think about fasting for a while, to get stronger, and then you'll be attacking later on. So there's never failing with fasting. There's no you fail, there's no losing. I always say there's no failing with fasting, there's only time between two fasts. It's just that in your mind you have to have that destination, which is 100% health, your 100% health, 100% like alignment with your purpose. I don't want to say 100% happiness, because happiness is like I don't know if it's a sustainable state, but it's like you have to anchor that like paradise-like place in your mind, and that's where we're going. But it's not a straight line. So sometimes we're gonna pause, sometimes we're gonna step back a little bit to move forward again. So there's no failing. So if you've done good, like you've experimented with some fasting patterns for several weeks, and you feel like taking a break, that's totally fine. That's part of it. So always listening to the body. So if it gets boring, the body is trying to tell you something. So and the best way to figure it out is to try, because it's either you're gonna step up a notch. Maybe you're gonna go full like with 14 hours, 16 hours, and then again you're gonna get the excitement back, or you're not gonna fast for a while, and then you'll see after a week or 2, 3 weeks, you're gonna start missing fasting. Like your body is gonna be like, knock knock knock, yeah, it was good when you were fasting, I had more time to do my stuff. So that's the first technique. So little by little we are incrementing that fasting window to the point where so that's a weekly pattern. So it's all like we're still in the realm of the intermittent fasting, but after a while you're going to start doing like 18 hours, 20 hours, 22 hours, 24 hours. And at one point, that's a really important step. At one point, so then you'll be going out of the weekly pattern, but at one point what's going to happen is that one day you're going to wake up, you're going to do everything you have to do. So you'll go to work, you do everything you have to do. You go out the whole day, the whole day, and then you won't feel like eating at night, and then you go to sleep without eating. And that's one of the biggest steps of fasting. So then you'll be you'll be going over the 24-hour. So then you'll be sleeping again another 8 hours, so it will be probably in the 36 hours, maybe even more. And that night when you're gonna be sleeping without eating, it's gonna be a very special night, because it's gonna be maybe the first night in your life where like your body won't have to deal with digestion, and you'll be focusing only on cleansing and repairing, and that for me was a turning point. That's when I understood that, wow, so if I go, I mean, intermittent fasting, it's good and all, but like the magic is on the other side. Like once you're having like those days, and then you go, like if you start fasting for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, like those nights they start getting crazy. Like your body, sometimes it's like a fireworks like inside, because the body gets into the habit of repairing at night while you're sleeping, and starts doing like more involved like working. So it's very that's also where the magic happens. So I think that's about it for the first technique. I'll be doing another video for the second and third, probably 2 separate videos for the second and third techniques. But this one is good. Like what I like about that, it's not the one I used to start, but this one, what I like about it is like you can still keep your routine. Like you don't have to stop working, you don't have to stop, like it's very progressive, like you go very like step by step. So I think it's a good technique, like to extend your fasting hours, like continuous fasting hours, and get the benefits. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon.